So I actually grew up in Tiverton, Rhode Island, so I'm a Rhode Island native, but I've only been at Providence College for a year this month, so relatively new here. I teach 3 classes in the biology department here at Providence College. Foundations in Environmental Biology, which is kind of a survey level course where we cover a lot of different topics. Pollination Ecology, which is an advanced topics lab course. So we talk a lot about pollinators and then we get to go outside and study them. So you'll probably see a group of us walking around campus in the fall. And then Environmental Methods and Statistics, where we learn a lot about data and students learn how to code in statistical software called R. So nutritional ecology, it's really broad and a little bit difficult to define, but if we step back and think about ecology, it's the branch of biology where we're interested in how an organism interacts with the environment. So an example question would be, what do honeybees eat and where do they find it? Nutritional ecology builds upon that, looking at how the environment is linked to nutritional requirements, foraging behavior, and actually utilization of nutrients. So temperature, for example, affects our metabolism. It can affect another organism's metabolism as well. So building upon the questions I just asked would be, how does the change in seasons here in New England affect a honeybee's diet, and how does that affect colony health at the bigger scale? So what's a lot of fun about nutritional ecology is because it's broad, you can focus on physiology, behavior, chemistry, molecular biology, and so there's a lot of avenues we can take these questions. So I'm really interested in how insect pollinators find food and how their diet affects interactions with the environment as well as other species. So insect pollinators, specifically bees and butterflies, are my focus. They get their food from blooming flowers. So pollen provides protein and fats, nectar provides carbohydrates, and both provide some small amount of vitamins and minerals. So insect pollinators can get a really well-rounded diet just by visiting flowers. But one of the things I'm interested in is which flowers are the best for insect pollinators and how we can provide insect pollinators with kind of a well-rounded diet throughout the year. So here in New England, flowers don't bloom obviously all year long, and sometimes early spring and late fall are kind of nectar and pollen dearths for these insect pollinators. And I'm really interested in how to combat that. So on the bee side of things, we're doing a lot of surveying around campus as well as in Westerly. One of the methods we're doing for surveying is bee hotels. So you'll see those around campus. They're bright green and yellow and blue. And those are for solitary bees that nest in tunnels. So not honeybees, but instead mason bees and leafcutter bees will make homes in those bee hotels. On the butterfly side of things, I'm studying a rare butterfly called the frosted elfin. And what's super cool about butterflies in general is the adults get their nutrition from blooming flowers. So the butterflies you see flying around, those are the adults. And they mostly just drink nectar. Some of them collect pollen. But the baby butterflies, which are caterpillars, they eat leaves. And so their diet changes as they develop. And what's even extra cool about the frosted elfin butterfly is it comes from a family of butterflies called the lycaenids. And the lycaenids, when they're caterpillars, are tended by ants. So what this means is when a caterpillar feels threatened, they signal ants for help, either via scent or sound. And the ants come and they defend the caterpillar. And things that threaten caterpillars are like predatory wasps or spiders. And sometimes, the ants will kind of walk around the plant until the threat leaves, stand on top of the caterpillar, and sometimes they even carry the caterpillar back home and bring it into their colony. But the nutrition comes into this interaction at the end when the caterpillar feels like the threat has passed. It secretes a sugar droplet from a specialized gland as a thank you to the ants. And so the caterpillar is using its own nutritional stores to then provide nutrition to these ants that have protected it. So I'm really interested in how, what plant you're eating as a caterpillar affects which ants might actually protect you later on and then affect survival. So it's a really cool species interaction that's kind of modulated by nutrition. This is such a hard question. I got my PhD studying honeybees, so I would say they're my first insect pollinator love. But as we study the native bees here on campus, I've gotten really interested in the bumblebees and where they live on campus and finding where they nest and what the queens are doing. We have found so far 4 species of bumblebees on campus, one of which is a rare bumblebee called the golden northern bumblebee or the northern golden bumblebee. It has a lot of yellow on it, hence the name, and it's really, really fuzzy. So you might see, if you see a fuzzy bee around campus that has a ton of yellow, it's a rare bee, and it's really cool that you've made that observation.